there was like an Eagles Falcons game where the Falcons came back and beat the Eagles, and I was all pissed off. And, like, posted a picture of myself holding a gun on the Eagles subreddit after that game, and people were like, "Jesus Christ, man!" I was like, "Well,
Wait, you really?
I'm sorry. I thought we were supposed to be fans."
Hello and welcome back, folks, to another episode of Forced Takeaways, the football podcast that's also about other stuff. My name's Tony Ballgame. I'll be your host for this evening, morning, afternoon, whenever you're listening to this. And joined, as always, by my partner in crime, Mr. Riversnake Jake. How you doing?
Doing well. How are you, Tony?
I'm great. We've kind of got a lot to talk about today, from considering it's the middle of July and training camps have barely even started. There's the football gods have blessed us with some funny headlines and some intriguing moments.
A couple little newsy tidbits.
Why don't you? I guess well, we could start. Let's start with the real hard news. The main one being TJ Watt getting re-signed by the Steelers, even though. Yeah, go ahead.
TJ Watt, 3 years, $123 million, 108 of that guaranteed, making him the highest non-offensive, non-quarterback, I believe, the highest paid non-quarterback in the league.
In NFL history.
Yeah, in NFL history, which means nothing. That'll change like tomorrow. But yeah, so for a couple of weeks, he's the highest paid guy ever. He's making $41 million on average per year, to be slightly less good than his brother, which good for him.
Ouch.
I'm happy for him. He still has to play for the Steelers, so like they'll win 8 games and lose in the wild card round. And he'll never see a Super Bowl. So it sucks, man.
Jesus.
It's the money is what matters, and like I'm sick of like, well, it's just about getting that ring. I'm chasing that ring. It's like it's not what it's about. This is a game that you play for money, and you just won the Super Bowl of life. So just be grateful.
Yeah, Steelers. The Steelers defense is going to be just fine. Probably it's just passable. It's passable as always.
It's just a bunch of old
we
guys.
Also had just a bunch of old guys. We also had earlier today saw Mike Williams retired.
Yeah, Mike Williams retired. Played for the Chargers
speaking of the Steelers,
for 8 seasons.
He was with the Steelers.
7 seasons with the Chargers. Yeah,
he was a Steeler. Like as of, I guess no, he had re-signed with the Chargers or something. Pro Football Reference is saying Chargers, but
he had re-signed.
Doesn't matter. He's dead now.
He is dead. Sorry
he's
that
passed
he died.
away.
Sorry to his family. But they could be relieved. We don't know. We don't know what that situation was like. So I'm gonna hold off on my condolences in case those are offensive.
Yeah, he had a couple really nice seasons with the Chargers. Two 2,000-yard seasons. I'm trying to remember if this was this. Yeah, this was the Justin Herbert years. This was that first season of Justin Herbert, which was so crazy. Sorry to take away from Mike Williams to talk about Justin Herbert, but God, that when they punctured fucking what's his name's lung on accident and had to bring in Justin Herbert, being like as like a panic move, that he turned out to be like the second coming of Christ, basically. In 2021, Mike Williams had 129 targets for 1,146 yards and 9 touchdowns. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, he was
never had another season as good as that.
I always liked him. He was like a classic big-bodied possession receiver. Big fan of that. A fun stat about him, though, Tony. This is a crazy one. He has more interceptions than fumbles in his career. He never fumbled his entire career, and I think he caught like an interception on like prevent defense one time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's like a fun, like, you know how
Yeah,
there's always
he
like
has
those
one.
in.
He says he has
Go
one
ahead.
interception, so he never had a
No,
fumble.
never had a fumble. Like,
Wow,
I feel like there are always these like really dumb stats that like don't
wow.
matter. That it's like ESPN analytics. Like he never lost on the road
Uh,
when Barbara
I love
Streisand's
those.
was had a residency in Vegas or whatever. And this one's great. This one's fun because it just means that he was a he was a dog, dude. Like that's how you're supposed to talk about people. You're supposed to call them dogs. Uh, and he was one.
We'll give him his flowers.
Hey, good for him.
Give him his flowers.
Went to
Why don't you?
Clemson.
Yeah, literally zero fumbles. That's pretty cool.
Probably knew about the Deshaun Watson stuff before all of us. I think it's a fair thing to say. You know, he went to Clemson with him, right? Like,
Oh, were they teammates?
yeah, yeah. He was on that 2016 national championship team. They absolutely were teammates. Um,
Well, hope he's not on the files.
yeah. I hope like we don't get texts like saying like, "Oh, you got this text from Deshaun Watson where he said just abused another masseuse, lol," and you didn't do anything about it. You know, like that's the kind of stuff that like the Department of Justice and like the FBI aren't releasing.
Which we do not condone
No, no, no. Yeah,
any of
they
that.
should make all that stuff public. Um
I have a little bit of a bit of a puff piece, bit of a feature piece here that really caught my eye during this week that I had to get on the show. Um, it's the talk of the punting. It's the talk of the college punting world. This is from Yahoo Sports. Andrew Holleran at Yahoo Sports writes, Gunnar Gillentine, the number one ranked punter in the class of 2027, announced his commitment to Mississippi State. The 6 foot, 185-pound kicker has major strength and extreme precision. This is a quote from him. I want to be in the weight room, blah, blah, blah. While the top ranked recruit was working on his kicking in the summer, he's also been converting to Islam. He literally is converting to Islam like this year. He's documenting his journey on social media, where you can follow him on Instagram at gunnerpunts_inshallah. It's awesome. He's like leading this little Mississippi mosque in prayer. He's like, you could tell he's like this kid is a student of the game in more ways than one. First time leading Salah, alhamdulillah. This is a little white boy from, well, he's not little, but this is a corn-fed Mississippi white boy. And I watched some of his videos. Maybe I can get some of the audio in here later, but he's talking about it. And he's like, yeah.
So I actually used to be Christian. I was Christian for 2 years, and I studied the Bible like a lot. Found so many like contradictions, and like whether you believe in the Trinity or not, it's a very complex. Like the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, they all are different things, but they work together as one. Like 1+1+1=1. Like I can never like it doesn't make sense to me. Okay, I'm just gonna believe in it because I don't know anything else better. And then I was like, I'm gonna go see what the other religions are talking about. And so I studied like Islam, and like the moment I read the Quran, it just clicked. Like when you read the Quran, it's like a revelation of God. Like we believe it's the word of God. Like nobody wrote it. It's not man-made. It's the revelation of God. If you read it, it's like talking to you. In the Bible, you don't really get that.
He just like
so
he
cool.
like he like didn't he thought he felt there was a lot of contradictions in the Bible, so he wanted to see what the other religions had to offer. Then he picked Islam.
He found like
It's
he found the one true religion. That's cool. I
I
want
mean,
to
he's found the light of Allah.
he's going to
Uh,
yeah, he goes to Mississippi. It's like it's going to be like I don't want to like I do, but I don't want to like read the comments on this cuz the comments are going to make me
dude,
mad. Um
I don't know about I can't speak for comments on other websites, but on his Instagram, the comments are very supportive. He just on his story, just a few minutes right before I sat down and set up my recording over here, I was looking at his Instagram, and just a few minutes prior, he had posted that all of his notes that he had been taking of translating Arabic and like learning the Quran were like lost or destroyed. Like he was like, so I'm gonna have to restart, you guys. Like I'm not gonna be making a lot of content about this, so sorry. There's gonna be a delay. And I opened the comments, and it's all these other Muslim guys being like, Alhamdulillah, brother. I will let you borrow my prayer rag. You can, or my prayer rag, my prayer rug. And it's all these guys being like, "Yo, you can borrow my stuff. I have extra books if you want. You can have my copy of the Quran. I have this and that you can use." Like, Instagram's hella supportive. I don't know, maybe he's hiding the mean ones, but
I'm surprised people aren't like saying like
alhamdulillah to
calling
you,
him weird
Gunner.
slurs. I'm gonna follow this guy.
Dude, me too.
This guy's cool.
You
That's
see,
awesome.
so you
He
probably can
just
see me. I'm
yeah.
already on there.
Inshallah, we must pin them inside the
I hope
5. That's cool.
that's what I was. That's what I was saying. I feel like yeah, you obviously you find out he's a white kid from Mississippi going to Mississippi State. Part of you is like, oh boy, I wonder how the Mississippi State fans are going to feel about this. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's like once there's like a bit of an initial shock, they kind of embrace it. Like I can hear them, somebody calling into Paul Feinbaum's show and being like, I don't care who we praise to, dude, as long as he can keep him inside the 20, he can pray you to whoever he wants.
To the East too. As long as he pins them real deep south. That is cool. I want to get Paul Feinbaum's take on this. Because you know what, Paul Feinbaum,
Let's call him up.
I bet what he would tell us is like, it doesn't matter because football is different in the South. Did you know that? That football is just different.
I've heard it.
It's just they take it a little. If they take it a little more seriously down there, it's just different. Saturdays in the South, it's about football.
You don't even know. But why don't you, before we get into our big preview, why don't you tell us about, you said you've been watching the quarterback show, right, on Netflix?
Oh yeah, on Netflix, it's good. I like it. So here's the thing. It's making me like Kirk Cousins. He's just kind of a boring dude and like very like he's not an idiot clearly, but like he's just very boring, which is okay. But like he's not like I don't know. I just like always kind of took him like I always assumed he was going to be such like a pompous, self-righteous prick, and like I didn't really watch the first season of this, so I didn't see him on there. But like he's just a normal kind of boring guy. He just seems like he is like very corporate, white collar personality, so like very bland. Like he would go see like Widespread Panic and be like, "Yeah, my friends in college liked this band, so I went and saw them."
And he wouldn't
You
have
know,
he wouldn't have a sip of beer or take any drugs. Just sit there and watch.
he won't even drink a soda pop during like before they play a game in the week. Like he's like very serious about this. Um, his wife is questionable, I think.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, she just seems like very hateful. Um, and like I feel like his wife has to like if we called up his wife, and asked about Gunner Punts underscore inshallah, she would like call him a terrorist or something. Like it seems like she says the N word in her car, but like there's not she's not singing. I don't like her. She makes me uncomfortable. But Kirk Cousins does this thing once a year where his brother and his 2 best friends from high school come and hang out with him during a week, and they all go to a game. And they've been doing it since he was a rookie, like when he wasn't even starting. And so like that was kind of cool. Like that fired me up. Like man, like yeah, he has friends. He's the only guy on the show with friends. And his teammates don't really talk to him or respect him, which I thought was kind of odd and like funny. But he does have friends. He has he has like 2 guys he hangs out with, and then just like his wife and kids. So I don't know. I felt like I pissed off because it made me like Kirk Cousins. I really like Jared Goff as a guy. He just seems very reasonable
Dude,
and like I've never thought
I've
like
never
I've
got the
never
Jared
even
Goff hate.
I don't get it now either. Like I never had the Jared Goff hate, but like I certainly don't get it now. He just seems cool. He's fine. Like he's like a guy that would have been in my friend group in college.
Mhm.
He's not the most interesting dude in the world, but like I don't know, he's pretty good at football and like just kind of does his thing and doesn't complain a lot. Like he's like very like even keel. Like I like him. He's cool. Um,
Yeah.
I don't like Joe Burrow. I think
Oh no.
well, I think that like Joe Burrow is like just very boring and bland, and like he's not like marketed that way, and I felt kind of robbed. Like I was like, oh, he's gonna be doing cool, interesting stuff, but it's just like he has nothing to say about anything. He just looks so fucking bored all the time. And like it's like, dude, like, look, here's the thing. I think people are calling him like Joe Cool, like Joe Montana or Joey Burr, but I think a better nickname for him would be Liberace because he likes putting on dresses and playing the piano all the time. Um,
No.
yeah, he learned to play the piano for his wrist, and he's like very interested in fashion. But that was like my radio, like my like sport drive time radio take on it. I was like, maybe don't like quit trying on like fancy clothes all the time and stay healthy, you fucking smug prick. Um, I don't know. He just rubbed me the wrong way. And also like he was gonna buy the Batmobile for $3.5 million, but then his house got broken into and he was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do it. Like this just like freaked me out. And he was like, yeah, guys, I don't think I'm gonna buy the Batmobile for $3.4 million. And it's like, go fuck yourself.
Okay, I am going to come running to the defense of Joe Burrow. I like him. I think he's cool. I think
I
your
think he's
problem with him
packaged
being
very
injured, I think.
strategically. I think he's
Oh, I
sold in
mean,
this. I think he has a very good PR team. Um, I think he's like
he
a
has a
boring
great
prick.
image.
Yeah, but that's not who he
He has a
is.
very, first of all, he has a
And he
very
took a
well
picture with
maintained public
Trump,
image for sure.
and he was supposed to be
That's
like a
true.
cool guy that like, hey, look, he's a guy that gets it. But no, he's just another fucking idiot.
I think I recall people seeing that he like retweeted Bernie Sanders in like 2017 or something, so everyone was like, he's woke. But then he took a picture of Trump and they're like, now he's canceled. But the probability, the most likely thing is like what you said. He's just kind of like a boring doofus, which I think most
Office of the president,
NFL
Anthony.
players probably are.
They are. That's the
I
problem.
think. I mean,
That's the
show a
problem. I'm
little
saying.
respect to the goddamn office.
No, I'm not gonna have any respect for Joe Burrow. I don't like him.
I'm saying
He
respect to
like
the office of presidents.
oh the office of the president. Yeah, like Saquon Barkley does. Um, he just like did coke all off season and started the stream with Aiden Ross and was like, "No, I just respect the office of the president." It's like, yeah, sure, man. Whatever you fucking say, just run for another 2K and we'll forget about this. There's a video of him doing blow with Timothy Chalamet that like got scrubbed from the internet. I don't know how he did it, but like it
Oh, I
never got
remember
picked
that.
up.
Like you could see the fucking coke like on their noses and shit. Like it was
hmm
not
You can
like
see him dropping the
subtle.
bag. Like
I remember
when
that.
he realizes he's being recorded, he like tries to subtly drop the bag like on Chalamet's lap. So he's had an off season fueled by cocaine and authoritarianism. So he's just gonna
Well, maybe he'll be in Dune 3.
he's gonna peel off
That'd be
2,200
cool.
yards this year from scrimmage. It's gonna be awesome.
Fuck yes,
But
dude.
yeah, Joe Burrow, I don't like. I don't care for him. I feel like we because like Kirk Cousins and Jared Goff like very face value, right? It's like yeah, these are just a couple guys
Hmm.
that are there. But it's like, oh, Joey, cool. He's so cool. First off, he went to one Super Bowl. I like quarterbacks that win. That's like my Trump thing. It's like I like the ones that don't get cut. I like quarterbacks that win the Super Bowl. Also, you're hurt all the fucking time. Like you don't.
Oh,
I'm
you can't get.
sorry.
Oh.
Oh,
No, I
I'm
make fun
saying
of Embiid for that.
getting hurt isn't cool. Like there's like if you went to school with a kid who like had an autoimmune disorder, like he wasn't popular. He was just like the sick weird kid. That's what Joe Burrow is.
Dude, that reminds me. I went to my Spanish teacher in high school went. She like grew up with the guys from South Park. Well, Trey Parker mainly.
hmm
She like went to elementary school with him and shit. And I dressed up as Kenny one year for Halloween. in like freshman year, and I show up and she goes, "Oh, and then she's like, "Oh, that's funny. You're just like the guy from that show." Yeah, I grew up with the creator of that show, and it was like she dropped a bomb. We were like, "What?" And she went on to tell us that there was a kid in their class who was always sick and always missing time and not and absent, and they would always his name was Kenny, and they would always joke that he was dead. They were like, "Oh, is Kenny here?" No, he died. And she just
That's
like
pretty
dropped
funny.
this piece of lore on us, and it was fucking amazing.
Yeah, man, that's something you got to hold on to.
It was
Like,
really
that's
funny
cool.
because
I feel
she was
like
actually she was really the French teacher, but she had to do Spanish because there was like a staff shortage. She wasn't even like that good at Spanish, but yeah, that was a piece of lore.
damn, that's cool. He's 40 years old and worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and he's still picking on that kid. That's good. That's good stuff. But
That's
yeah,
good. That's good.
my big takeaway is that fuck Joe Burrow. Um, I'm sick of him. I'm sick of people acting like he's better than Jalen Hurts because guess what? He's not. Um,
Uh,
you know
it
why?
comes
Because
down
there's only
to.
one stat that matters, and that's rings, baby. I think I just contradicted myself. I just said that doesn't matter. Um, but yeah, I don't give a
No, you
shit,
said you
dude.
like the quarterbacks that win.
I like quarterbacks that win. But it is a player's job. It is not to win a Super Bowl; it's to get a bunch of money. But
I
those are
see that.
two
Yeah,
different things. Is what I'm saying. Yeah,
yeah.
I don't. He's like he throws to like two of the best receivers in the league all the time. He's very talented. He's like top five quarterback, like talent wise. Um, but I'm just like I think he's very overrated, and I know that's kind of a take, but
Mm,
um, if he can stay healthy
you know
for
he
17 games and actually like make a legitimate run and then not cry about his defense being bad and losing them games all the time, like I don't know, do more.
I mean, it's a big if, but if he hadn't gone to that one Super Bowl, he's basically Justin Herbert who's gone further in the
Thank you.
playoffs.
I was about to say
Now
that.
that you're
Yes.
saying it. Even though I would still like our listeners, specifically my girlfriend who is a big Joe Burrow fan. I
Oh
still
no,
like Joe Burrow and I will
don't
still
let her
defend
listen
him
to
and I
this.
still root for him. This is where our thoughts differ. I will still defend him and I still like him, but he did buy himself a lot of, talk about PR and like how he's perceived. I feel like having gotten injured last year in spring training, what the fuck am I talking about? Training camp, whatever. And then the how bad their defense was. He did a lot of work. Like they lost a lot of games last year that they should have won, that he played awesome in, and they lost because the defense was horrible. And now they have those holdouts going on with their draft picks and with Trey Hendrickson, right? And his backup too. Like yeah,
And
like
Shamar
they're
Stewart.
having a bunch of contract holdout situations, and Shamar Stewart, which we'll get into that after this. Um, now it's a combination of like it might be moving more towards like, oh, he doesn't have enough help and the ownership is bad, where he's
Yeah.
bought himself even more leeway with the public of being like, yeah, but the stupid cheap owners won't get him a good enough defense, which is true. But at the same time, but you did see some people. Do you remember last year seeing some of the talking heads people being like, hello, they're not winning games. Some of it's got to be on the quarterback, and they got a lot of backlash for saying that. So you might have something here.
I mean, I'm just all I'm saying is that like he bought himself a lot of goodwill with that Super Bowl. He is a very very
Mm,
good quarterback. He's probably a better quarterback like talent wise, and like a technically better skilled quarterback than Jalen Hurts, but um he couldn't beat the Rams in the Super Bowl, and that's lame. That's
yeah,
pathetic. He let the Rams win a Super Bowl.
and they and they had a good defense that year. The Bengals did.
Yeah, the Bengals had a really
It
good
wasn't like
defense.
amazing, but it was like it
The
was pretty
Rams did
good.
too, though. Um,
Yeah.
but like, I don't know. I think he's like, he's definitely getting a boost because he's a quirked up white boy. And like,
With the sauce.
yeah, he's with the sauce. He's just like people are like, oh no, he has swag, and it's just like, well, he pays a guy to come to his house and tell him what to wear. He like has a stylist bring him a bunch of clothes and he picks stuff out, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's fucking lame. That's loser behavior to me. Like, um, quit playing dress up and go win some damn games. Stay healthy. You know, like
Well,
what is your name? Joe
we
Burrow or freaking Kylie Jenner? Am I right?
well we
Anthony,
talked
am I
about
right?
Joe Burrow's. You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
His
Batmobile, go fuck
teammate who's
yourself.
holding out, Shamar Stewart. That next story, our next bullet point here, which is all of these
I can't afford tires for
damn.
my truck, and he's crying about not being able to buy the Batmobile because he feels insecure. Fucking prick. And I work so much harder than him. Do you know much? Like every construction worker works way harder than a football player, and that's just the truth. Um, I have like nerve damage from my elbow, but I'm not crying about it. I'm not sitting out. If I don't go to work, I don't get paid, Joe. Um,
Well,
he's so soft.
maybe the NFL players union should be as militant as the construction work unions, because there's this NFLPA guaranteed contract money collusion thing is not going away, and it's starting to become a real problem for a lot of teams, for almost every single NFL team, because and this is from CBS Sports, 27 NFL draft picks remain unsigned, including 26 second rounders, and the
Akuba,
Bengals' Shamar Stewart.
what do you think's gonna happen here?
Just Well, it all depends. So basically, here's how this started. So the owners do not like giving out guaranteed money. We know this, and somehow, normally in the NFL draft, at least in recent years, in the first if you're drafted in the first round, your rookie contract is 100% guaranteed. This is kind of standard. It's not but no one cares about that. No one cares about rookie contracts. It doesn't matter as much to the owners. Second round draft picks usually have like a lot guaranteed, like anywhere from like 60 to 95%, depending on where they were drafted and what's, whatever. But this year in the draft, the Texans, their second round pick, Jaden Higgins, they gave him a fully guaranteed rookie deal, which is the first time in NFL history that any team has ever given a second round pick a fully guaranteed rookie deal. He wasn't even the first pick of the second round. I think he was the second pick. So then the guy who was the first pick for the Browns was like, hey, what the fuck? This guy that got drafted after me gets to have guaranteed money, and I want it now too. So then the Browns had to do it. And the Browns are already in trouble from the owners for this guaranteed money shit, so they probably didn't like doing that. But they did end up giving Carson Schwessinger, the first pick of the second round, a fully guaranteed deal. So now all the second round picks are like, hey man, what the fuck? This is precedent setting. We want guaranteed money too. And guess who? So this Schwessinger was the 33rd pick. Jaden Higgins was the 34th pick. Guess who the 40th overall pick of the NFL draft was? Yeah, that's right. It was a little guy named Tyler Shook, a quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. And let's just get into it. We're gonna go ahead and start our the whole point of the episode. The direction of the episode this week is off-season previews and like season previews. This week we're doing the NFC South. I'll go ahead and start at the New Orleans Saints.
We do the tongue voice for the whole thing.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people thought they were going to go to the Super Bowl 2 games into the season last year. That didn't happen, folks. They fired Dennis Allen after losing 7 straight after winning their first 2. And they did put up, they had an insane, they scored like 98 points their first 2 weeks, and people were going nuts. Then they completely...
It was like Derek Carr.
Played like shit after that. Yeah, like people were like, oh my god, did they figure this out? They fired Dennis Allen, hire the special team, name the special teams guy, Darren Rizlord, as their interim head coach. I don't know if you remember after his first game, which they did win, he talked in a press conference about how he clogged the toilet in the locker room with a massive shit, and everyone thought it was like a cute little funny story instead of a devastating omen for the rest of their season. Also, it's kind of insane how quickly their Catholic Church sex scandal involvement was swept under the rug and thrown in the memory hole. I think some of us don't remember. Some of us forgot that. I kind of forgot about it until I was doing this research. Might have something to do with the fact that the story came out during Super Bowl Media Week, LMAO. But the Saints, whose owner and that's just the city of New Orleans in general, is extremely Catholic. Some pedophile stuff came out about some of these priests in the Archdiocese of New Orleans, and the New Orleans Saints rushed to help them and to help do media, crisis prevention with these freaking pedophiles. So here are some of the things the Saints were alleged to have done to protect pedophiles, which protecting pedophiles is all all the rage right now. Even the president's doing it, everyone's doing it. You know it, I know it. The team's president, Devin Lauscha, drafted more than a dozen questions that Archbishop Gregory Amen should be prepared to answer as he faced reporters. And then the fleshy husk of Roger Goodell, sin eater for all 32 billionaire NFL owners, said when asked about the whole thing, quote, Saints officials are, quote, very involved in this community and they are great corporate citizens, end quote.
Ugh.
So that's disgusting.
That's the worst thing I've ever heard.
So as far as corporate citizens. Yeah, they are great corporate citizens. That is what corporate citizens do, is protect pedophiles. So he's not wrong. You can't really argue with that.
Yeah, well, you look out for your own.
Hey, where we go one, we go all, folks.
Yeah.
The Saints have perhaps foolishly avoided a total rebuild in the post-Drew Brees era, as we all know. General manager and deranged imp Mickey Loomis insists that the team will be trying to win every game in 2025. Saints kind of have a disastrous trifecta of incompetent GM, a shitty owner that loves him, and an apathetic fan base. Don't get me wrong, there are lots of diehard, knowledgeable Saints fans out there. They easily have the funniest Twitter presence of any of the NFL fan bases, for the Saints fans. But we all saw the game against the Broncos last season. With Sean Payton's homecoming, where they honored Drew Brees' Hall of Fame induction at halftime, and then basically as soon as the halftime show was over, everyone left. And it was a primetime game, and there was all these empty seats. So to the Who Dat Nation's credit, it's probably the most effective way to show dissatisfaction with a team, which is, leaving in the halftime and making everyone look stupid at a primetime game. Actually, actual things they've done this offseason include they hired a Cowboys offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, which is great, but it's kind of like hiring Marty Scorsese to run a Wendy's in rural Nebraska. It's like he'll probably do a fine job, but you're not exactly giving him the tools to succeed. Another thing the Saints did this offseason is that they were so respectful to Derek Carr that he retired, leaving them with second-round pick Tyler Shuck as their starting QB. So that's where all this contract holdout stuff comes in. Because Derek Carr retired, you've got to assume that their second-round pick quarterback Tyler Shuck is going to be their starter. So with all these, the first and second picks of the second round getting guaranteed contracts, Tyler Shuck is like the 8th pick of the second round. If you're him, you're like, you guys want me to be your starter, and these other 2 second round picks have gotten fully guaranteed money, and they're not guaranteed fully contract, which would be historic. They haven't done it yet. Also, Tyler Shuck is 8 days older than Trevor Lawrence, who is entering his 5th NFL season, which I just thought was funny.
27, right?
Yeah, he was in he was in college football for 7 years.
Yeah, and he's still
obviously COVID
a guy people. He went to Oregon.
Yeah,
and
COVID in college
right?
kind of changed everything. I think he went to more than 2 schools. I think.
Oh,
but
man,
so
dude,
then the main two. Yeah.
If I was in college when COVID happened, I would have still gone to bars and stuff, and I wouldn't have worn a mask. I was thinking about that when COVID was happening, and I was like, man, I'm so happy that I'm an adult right now, because I would have been such a prick about this.
It would have sucked to be a little kid. To have to go to virtual 5th grade, I would have not have liked that.
I would have loved it because I hated going to school. I also went to Catholic school, so like everyone hates that
Uh,
experience. Nobody likes that.
well, the Saints like it.
But hey, buddy,
But
they
just to
like the students.
the
They
last two things I
listen.
want to hit on the Saints is the main free agent things they did that I think we should care about is they extended Brandon Cooks for 2 years and they signed safety Justin Reed from the Chiefs, which is like that would be a good move for a team that like thinks they're going to be kind of good. But and now as far as our actual predictions for what we think the Saints are going to be or for what these teams are going to be, I think the Saints are going to have possibly be the worst team in the entire NFL. I went through their whole schedule. I don't see them getting more than 4 wins. If they get more than 4 wins, I'm the Queen of England.
It's going to
Frankly,
be Saints Giants vying for the right to draft and abuse Arch Manning. But
that was one of the wins I gave them was Giants. They're playing the Giants this year. I think I have that down as a dub for the Saints. Yep.
I feel like the Saints probably have the best people in place to abuse a young person, though. So
I
because of the
I mean
sex crimes.
yeah,
Um,
that's what a lot of people are saying is with the Arch Manning thing is that they could like probably the best thing they could do this year is just tank and be horrible and get a high draft pick and hope to get Archie Manning, and that'd be a great PR for them.
it would be so good for them because yeah, it's like he's coming home. His dumb inbred father played there. That guy's two doofus sons played in
Didn't
the
win shit.
NFL. His uncle is just some guy, or his dad is just some guy, right? They're his uncles
Yeah, I
who are
think his
football
dad is
players.
the one that didn't go to the NFL because of he was in college a wide receiver, I think, right, and then he got injured.
Yeah, and he just became like a private equity or oil guy or something. Like he probably like has like a better feeling body, but like he wants like I bet he fucking hates the fact that his two brothers are just like famous and they get to be on the Caesar's Palace commercials all the time with JB Smoove. I mean, if I had a brother and like, okay, what are you doing today? It's like, oh, I just got to be on. I'm just hanging out on set with JB Smoove. I would be sick to my fucking stomach. I don't even care about JB Smoove. Yeah, I wasn't the big. I think Curb Your Enthusiasm is good, and he was a very funny character on it. But like, just the thought that like there's something I could be jealous of. That would make me furious.
Yeah, his dad is Cooper Manning,
Yeah,
who's
cool.
who's like the Shemp of the Manning family.
Yeah, he's like the cook, is what you're trying to say. We're a cook podcast now. We say stuff like that.
Well, do you have anything on the Saints? What are your thoughts on the Saints? They're
I think
going
the
to be
Saints are
bad.
dog shit. I think they're an insanely dirty team. Um,
Oh,
and like they like there's a really good clip of um one of their defensive linemen trying to God, what's his name? I can't remember his name. He doesn't play for them anymore, but he did this to Jalen Hurts last year, and he tried to twist Justin Herbert's knee. Um,
oh,
and then one of the linemen just I think it was like Joe Altman like jumps on him and is like slamming his head to the ground. And like the Chargers offensive lineman doesn't get a flag thrown. The other guy gets the flag thrown on him. Um, that's like kind of how they played. Like they were targeting players all year.
Mm.
They get away with that shit for some reason, probably because like of the pedophile cabal that the owners like run. Um, it's weird, like just like child porn vampires. But it's not. I shouldn't say child porn because they're probably not recording it. But like, they are having sex with kids in the Catholic Church. That's like not. It's like that's not a secret, and it's not even like a conspiracy theory. It's just something that like it has happened so
it's
much.
just
It's like
in
the
the
sun
public
rising.
knowledge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just like it's something people accept for some reason. But we're so backwards in our society that it's like, yeah, well, I can't say I can't say I don't love Jesus or like will send me to war or something. Like,
Buddy, they're gonna send you to war either way.
um, Kellen Moore's their coach. I think he did a good job last year with the Eagles. Um, I will always be a fan of his because he helped them win a Super Bowl on my birthday. Put a lot of
Mm.
points up in that game too, and that was very cool for me. My favorite team won the Super Bowl on my birthday last year. I should never watch sports again. And then icing on the cake, the Thunder won like the NBA like I'm just done, I think.
Yeah,
I'm gonna quit caring.
it's a pretty good
Um,
12 months for you.
I'm gonna get into baking or something. Well, I think
Jeez.
I earned it. I had like a really bad beginning start to the year, personally, and so like it's just kind of one of those things where it's like I'm not trying to sound entitled, but it was like okay, cool, like I'll take this. Like I'll suffer for this. Um, but yeah, nothing to really say about the Saints. I think they're a fucking dog shit organization, top to bottom. They should feel humiliated just for existing, and I hope that they win just enough games not to get a good quarterback this year. Also, Derek Carr um, left $40 million on the table just not to be around the Saints anymore,
Yeah, I
which
think
I think
that
says a lot. That like the most annoying fucking dork in the world, like, the only guy who I would want to hang out with less than Kirk Cousins before I watch quarterback. I'd hang out with Kirk Cousins now. But he's like the one guy like I would. You couldn't pay me to like. Usually, if I'm like at the mall and it's like, hey, like this football player is doing autograph signing, it's like, okay, yeah, like I'll absolutely go and like get a little mini helmet or something, even if it's like Steve Largent, cool, yeah, like that'd be a cool thing to have on my desk. I would absolutely not go stand in a line to meet Derek Carr, and I love football and football guys, so that's saying a lot for me personally. um, the fact that he like didn't want 40 million to hang out with him, I think says everything. Also, what he said about it is like the lamest thing in the world. He was
yeah, that
entitled to
whole
that
thing
money.
was
It's a
weird.
contract. And he was like, well, I wasn't going to be able to play. So, like, I didn't want to take their money. It's not the right thing to do. And again, I'm going to say this again. I can't afford tires for my truck right now. And I really need them. And that makes me so mad that is just like a privilege that that man is afforded. Also, his brother is David Carr. And that guy sucks ass at everything he does. With the Bucks and I have the Panthers. Let's start with the Panteras.
Okay.
Yeah, the Cowboys from hell. I thought about
Also,
doing
but
that as a bit, just like
real
talking about the band Pantera.
before you
Um,
start, I want to issue a self correction. I said Kellen Moore was the OC of the Cowboys, which is very embarrassing, and you very adeptly mentioned that he was the OC for the Eagles last year, not the freaking
I
Cowboys.
slipped that in there, not as like I wasn't gonna correct you on air. I wasn't gonna do that to you, but I wasn't gonna
That's
not say something. I was trying to do it with grace.
you
I
did
didn't
no,
want
you did
you
it. You did great.
I didn't want anyway risk making you feel bad, because I care about you, and that's the truth. Um, I was maybe I'm too polite. A lot of construction workers say I'm too polite. Maybe they're right, but
Well,
this
they have
is
a pretty
this is a
low
family
bar.
show. Yeah, that is true. There are a lot of those guys are pigs. Um,
Right.
Speaking of pigs, the owner of
Oh
Carolina
God.
Panthers is one David Tepper. And let me tell you something about David Tepper. He might be the dumbest motherfucker alive. Um, they have a bad stadium, a bad team, and a bad time, all in all. Carolina Panthers won 5 games last year. They went 5-11, and they still managed to finish only third place in the NFC South. That's how bad this division is, Tony. Um,
Whew.
um, our head coach is Dave Canales. He is a recovering sex addict and
Wait, who
pornography
is?
addict. Their head coach, Dave Canales,
Oh yeah.
recovering porn addict, which is like, there's that meme. It's like I wouldn't tell, like you could waterboard me, and I wouldn't tell anybody this.
Yeah.
I would if I was if I struggled with porn addiction, that would come with me to my grave. I wouldn't tell. I look. I'm gonna say something here. I am a recovering addict myself. I'm an alcoholic, and like I've had my ups and downs in my recovery, and I went to treatment again recently because I needed some help. Um, but and I know addiction is not funny. It is very hard and scary to be have something that you cope used to cope for so long that it becomes second nature and like it rewires your brain. Um, I understand firsthand how tough it is, but being addicted to porn is like will never not be funny to me. Um, just just don't jack off. And I get it. You could say just don't drink. Um, but I would also argue that like alcohol is more available and more present than pornography is. It's just get rid of your iPad. Um, he wrote a book because he kept cheating on his wife. And so he and his wife wrote a book together about how like they found the sanctity of their marriage again. Which, and again, I would take that with that is my personal business. You take that with you to your grave. You do not write a book about it. Even if your wife, like, if I ever cheated on my wife, which I never would because I love her very much, but if I ever did, because I was like an NFL guy and on the road all the time, and she was like, "Well, to stay with me, you had to write a book about your affair and how we fixed our marriage and publish that book with your real name on it." I'd be like, "Well, it was nice knowing you. Let's try to make this divorce as amicable as possible." Because you didn't. That is so mortifying. Um, so that's the guy they have running their team. The day-to-day
That's probably what got
operations
him the
of
job, honestly.
probably yes. So they have like guy that can't stop jacking off, calling plays. Um, it's like remember Mark Mangino?
No.
The big, he was this big fat guy. He was the head coach at Kansas for a while, and like he was like the offensive coordinator at OU. And there was like a rumor like they lost a game because like there was a jelly donut spilled on his call sheet and he couldn't read the play. That's like what happens with Dave Canales all the time, but it's jizz. It's like he had the pages mixed up together. Or like his Microsoft tablet got like a virus because he kept going to XNXX and RedTube on it. Like, well, they banned Pornhub in Carolinas, in North Carolina, so I got to go to XNXX. It's a less safe site. It's like, hey, Dave, what's the place? One second, let me close all these chatterbait windows. And then all these chatterbait pop-ups. It's, look, I have 30 seconds to not come, and then I'll call the play. All right. All right, I gotta let that guy breathe a little bit. Sorry. Yeah. So they have a they have a fucking pervert calling their plays for a tiny little quarterback. Um, Bryce Young had a very good end to his year last year. Um, like down the stretch, he threw. I can't remember his stats off the top of my head, but he wasn't turning the ball over. He looked like the part. Xavier Legette, despite his drops, looked like a good number two receiver. Um, Adam Thielen is like still playing really well, despite the fact that he's white and 33. She's like
He's
very
only
impressive.
33?
I think he's like 33, 34. Yeah.
Why does it feel like he's 48?
Because he's been so like present for so long. It's like Tyler Lockett is like 31. And it's like there's no way. Like Tyler Lockett is a 47-year-old man.
There's no
He's just
way.
been in the league.
Adam
Was that
Thielen's 34.
34, yeah. So
This will be
last
his
year was his
11th season.
33-year-old season.
12th
Um,
season, actually.
he played very well. Things started to kind of click. Um, Cuba Hubbard gets hurt.
Hmm.
That sucks for them. Um, they're not a good team. It's bad. So, but they kind of have like a little buzz this offseason.
Hmm.
I'm telling you, man. Bryce Young is my height and like probably has a good 30 pounds on me. It's like me playing quarterback for the Panthers.
But if you
It's
were
not good.
jacked, even more
But if
jacked
I
than you are now.
but if I was jacked and um like a little baby. He's a little baby. Um he got benched. They made him a
Mm,
starter and he got benched. Then he started playing well again. But this is like they had like the most Panthers offseason. I want to read kind of the things that they did. Like these are like this is what they did for their offseason. Like they're not going to get any better. They don't know how to run this team. They have tiny
mm.
little quarterback and guy that drops the ball all the time, and 34-year-old white guy on offense. And it's not a recipe for success. They might win 6 games this year. Congratulations. They signed Trayshawn Wharton from the Chiefs. He was like a depth defensive tackle, like a rotation guy. He was like their
Nice.
big off-season signing. They were trying to give like Milton Williams like $130 million or something stupid, and he was like, actually, never mind. I'm going to take less money to go play for the Patriots. It's just a very smart play by Milton Williams, and like I'm not saying Milton Williams is bad. He's not a $130 million player though. He's probably not $100 million player. He was an insanely good rotational depth slash starting defensive tackle in Vic Fangio's defense. And he played next to Jalen Carter, who is going to be like first ballot Hall of Famer one day. He's like makes Aaron Donald look like a wimp, like the way he plays the game, the way he's built, and the way his interior pass rush moves are. Like he's going to be remembered as the best pass rushing defensive lineman of all time. Playing next to that guy, you're going to look awesome. My point being, they have no idea what they're doing. They're just trying to overpay this guy. He doesn't even want to go, so they get a rotational guy from the Chiefs no one's ever heard of. They signed Rito Debacle from the Cowboys because Chuba Hubbard is hurt. Bobby Brown the third from the Rams. We were talking about pedophiles earlier. They re-signed cornerback Michael Jackson, so that's exciting for them. Um, yeah, it's hey, talk about blanket coverage of Anthony.
Whoa!
It's too bad children can't play this game because if they did, Mr. Jackson would molest them with his coverage.
Oh
Uh,
God,
I'm sorry.
that's
Um,
not really even a phrase in real life. So I'm gonna have to
it's
take
the
points off it
no,
for that one.
it's not. That's why I wrote the blanket thing before. Um,
It's good you led with
the
that.
yeah, they re-signed Michael Jackson. Um, Trevon Moehrig from the Raiders, that safety from the Raiders, who I feel like has also been in the league forever, but he's still somehow under 30. Um, he's a safety that has played his whole career with the Raiders. He's always just been kind of a guy. They re-signed Tommy Tremble. They signed linebacker Pat Jones the second. So basically, do you see like the theme here though? It's like they've just like went and got some guys.
That's kind
Like
of what their whole team is, just some guys.
yeah,
Like
and that's why they're bad.
there's really not anyone on this team that is like even close to a name brand. The closest thing is probably either Bryce Young or Adam Thielen. And Adam Thielen is not supposed to be like, the centerpiece of your offense. Like, I remember that Bryce Young having a really nice. It was a nice story. It was a very feel good story last year. Way he was benched, came back, and played a lot better. But it's still just like what it boils down to is the freak in charge of the team. David Tepper is such a temperamental fucking reactionary psycho that every time things go wrong, he just like takes a hammer to the roster and just like there's so many disparate things going
There,
on with who they sign. There's no coherent like team building philosophy they're seeing at all. Like no, that's just it's not pretty. It's not going to be pretty for Bryce Young this year, unfortunately,
there is a
because I
video
like
of
him.
David Tepper going to a restaurant because they had a sign that says David Tepper's not allowed to eat here. He goes there and asks to yell at the manager. That's the
That's a
guy that
really good
runs the
way
team.
to ingratiate yourself into a community.
They've done nothing this offseason. They had a decent draft. They drafted Tetiora McMillan from Arizona. Um, lengthy like possession receiver that runs some like crisp routes. Like will probably end up being like surprisingly good. Have like a 900-yard rookie season. He prefers to go by T Mac, which I think is very lame. Because people are like, "What are we calling Tetiora? Tetiora? Or are we calling him Tet?" And he's like, no, everyone call me T-Mac. And it's like, all right, dude, you're a dork. Congratulations, you play for the Panthers.
Oh.
And then I really like this though. This is the one good thing, in my opinion, they've done all offseason. They drafted Nick Scorton from Texas A&M in the second round. He's an edge rusher. He's fucking huge. He is built like a defensive lineman. Played at Purdue for the first half of his college career. Finished his career with A&M. He was like widely seen as like a first round talent. Like a lot of people thought he'd be like one of the first edges to get drafted, but fell to the second round. So they have little pieces here. They have like a fun um defensive line. Derek Brown is like very, very underrated. I love an interior defensive lineman that can rush the passer, and Derek Brown is one of those guys. Big fan of Shaq Thompson. Um, he's their middle linebacker. It also feels like he's been in the league for 17 years. I remember watching him play at Washington when I was in high school. Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's like this was a hard. I wanted to get them out of the way because this was a hard team to look into and like read about and like watch stuff on because they're just boring and there's not much to say about them. They're just kind of there. They're like the Fresca of NFL teams. It's like, oh yeah,
Hey, you could say what you want about Joe Burrow, but if you say something bad about Fresca, my girlfriend will stop listening to the podcast. We swear by Fresca in this house, okay?
okay.
We
He's a
have
good
gone through.
soda.
I went from my birth until about a year ago drinking maybe one can of Fresca in my life. Since then, I've probably had about 4,000.
It's hands down the least offensive thing I've said in the last hour and a half, and that's what's
Yeah,
getting me the most trouble.
I'm like fucking steam coming out of my ears right now.
Fresca it's a tasty, refreshing beverage, sure, but you always forget about it if you're not a Fresca drinker. And that's kind of how the Panthers are. You always forget. I never can remember who the teams in the. I'm always either forgetting the Falcons are in the NFC South or that the Panthers exist. And that's all I had for the Panthers. It was like pulling teeth, but hey, we got it over with. They're gonna pick in the top 10 again. Like that's the one thing you can guarantee about the Panthers is that
That's
they'll always have a top 10 pick, but never choose the right guy.
That's kind of what they need, though. I mean, they just need more darts to throw, whether that's draft picks or free agency people. Like they need some real players in that building for real. Like, but none of it's gonna matter because their owners are psycho. So now,
Hey, daylight coming, you got to Delhomme. Remember that?
Jake
Chris
Delhomme.
Berman.
Don't disgrace his good name, Jake Delhomme.
Remember that fat guy that used to be on TV and he would go.
TV
Cool.
sometimes, isn't he? The NFL media guys worship him. He'll be on TV until he dies. Yeah, I heard he's a big asshole.
He's like a weird, abusive, sweaty guy.
Oh no. Well, he's a Bills fan, so we gotta.
You haven't seen that video of him just absolutely eviscerating that PA and like threatening him?
No.
He's a bad guy. Oh yeah, he's a Chris Berman, bad guy.
Bad guy. Well, I'll continue with a team that has a little bit more juice than the Saints. I think we kind of got the two, like, this division might be the worst in football, and I think we got the two really bad teams out of the way first. So now we're gonna go to
We did
the slightest bit of juice, and then we'll end with a team that is likely going to win the division. Probably both of us think. But until then, we're going to talk about the Atlanta Falcons, folks. And
Kirk.
Before I even did any research, I was racking my brain trying to think of a single detail about the 2024 NFL season for the Atlanta Falcons. And all I could think about were those really cool videos of Bijan Robinson. Remember that they were like focused on his head for top down, and they were really they like went shots. Yes, they went like mega viral as soon as they hit. That was probably the best thing of last season for Atlanta. That Bijan Robinson looked cool. They have a great.
He's so good. But like,
shout out to their yeah, it sucks. Shout out to their social media team. I don't know what equipment, but also they scored really high on the NFLPA end of season like grade list, like for their like facilities and how they treat fans and stuff. So Falcons have a good little and efficient operation going on down there. Whether or not
Blank's a good owner.
whether or not the results come. Last year for the Falcons, Kirk Cousins put up elite 1987 numbers. Had over 3,500 passing yards, 18 touchdowns, 16 interceptions, and 14 games started. Accidentally tricking some brain dead media members into comeback player of the year votes. They then transitioned late in the season to give the starting job to rookie Michael Penis Jr., who they drafted with the 8th overall pick of last year's draft.
It's so good to call it Michael Penis.
Yeah, dude. But Kirk O'Chain's still awkwardly on the team this season. It was already, I mean, it was awkward when they drafted Michael Penis. Everyone thought it was insane.
Yeah,
Kirk
quarterback,
Chain's
they acknowledge it. He's like, yeah, I feel misled.
really?
He was like kind of like upset about it. He's like, yeah, they kind of lied to me.
Oh no. They might the vibes might be bad there until Kirk's out of the building. He's still there.
$40 million to be a backup this year, though.
Yeah, it's
tight.
I think it's going to take a couple of years for us to figure out how to really judge that. Just judging on what Cousins done for the rest of his career or whatever. But they do still owe him a lot of money. But there's reports out there that he wants to get traded to a contender that's interested in losing in the first round. So that might happen. Second-year head coach Raheem Morris is entering the season with an interesting array of weapons on offense, including quarterback Michael Penis, Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, Drake London, and tight end Kyle Pitts, who entering his 5th NFL season has yet to recreate his Pro Bowl rookie season where he had 100 catches and 1,000 yards. And he might be a trade target if he doesn't get his act together. They have a right tackle named Storm Norton, which is very funny. They also hired Jeff Ulbrich as their defensive coordinator and signed Leonard Floyd in the offseason to see if they could make the pass rush be good for the first time in 1,000 years. It's like an ongoing joke that the Falcons haven't had anyone get a decent amount of sacks basically since George W. Bush was in office. Darnell Mooney, I remember having a really nice career boost last season. He was just 8 yards shy of having 1,000 yards. I thought he emerged as one of the league's better wide receiver 2s after getting tossed out of Chicago by his belt and collar like a cartoon wino. I went through I did go ahead and go through their schedule. Yeah, I feel like, living in Chicago, I'm very attuned to the sports radio scene. And Darnell Mooney was a guy that people were really mad at. People were upset with how bad he was performing, but and he had some woeful performances and some bad body language stuff, but the Bears were so bad that season. I think that certain players don't deal with that well. When you just know you're on a bullshit team that's going nowhere, some guys just can't help themselves with pouting on the sidelines, and I can't really get that mad at him. And now he's on a real team, and they're doing. The Bears are a real team now, but at that time I have the Falcons going 9-8. I think they're going to be mid, not make the playoffs, not even really probably get that close to making the playoffs, but they will be a good fantasy team for people probably. And that's what I think about the Falcons. Not much to say about them, I don't think, really. Besides, I think Drake London will be fun, and we'll see how Michael Penix does.
They were one of 2 teams to beat the Super Bowl championship Eagles last year, so they have that to hang their hat on. In
I remember you being
Philly,
pretty mad at that.
I was so upset. I was so mad at Nick Sirianni. I was so fucking mad at him. He run the ball, but he learned from it, and then they ran the ball the rest of the year, and it was fine. But I don't know. I hope that Michael Penis Jr. is good this year. I hope they let him kind of take the offense and run with it and make it his own. I don't want to see them circumcise him at all. Just take take all the restraints off. But if something were to happen to him and Kirk Cousins gets in there and has a fun stretch of games where he gets them a wild card berth, I'd be very happy. I'm a Kirk Cousins guy now. I never thought I'd say that. People can change, and this is proof. I'm very pro Kirk Cousins, and I wish him the absolute best.
Wow.
And I hope he gets a divorce. And marries a nice person.
So he can spend more time with his bros.
Yeah, his group of friends is so wholesome and cool. Um, I think I'm just very lonely. I'm like a statistic in the war on men. You know, there's a loneliness epidemic, if you haven't heard. And I just want to pal around. I want to go play fucking frisbee golf and get a
I think
burger.
it. I think it would suck if they had to bench Michael Penis. I think that would be kind of a disaster because then Kirk would be like, and he'd probably like he'd play well. Like he's not gonna like play shitty on purpose. He's gonna do his best every week, but it's gonna be really awkward if Penis plays really like so bad that they have to bench him again. Like
No, it's
that's
gonna
a,
be
that's a
cool. It's
that's
gonna
a
be
nightmare
good.
scenario for them. It'll be good. It'll be good.
I think it'll be good for me. Also, Bijan Robinson from Tucson, Arizona. My wife's from Tucson. And
Oh.
I was like, honey, have you ever heard of Bijan Robinson? He went to high school at this like high school, and she was like, what? So he's not a big deal here either. Is my point. Uh, yeah, he's very good, and I don't know why he's not like a star yet. And honestly, probably because he plays for the Falcons. Um, a team that is like so hated by their fans, but if you're not a fan and you hate them, they will fight your ass, and I respect that.
These teams hate each other too. These NFC South division rivalries.
Yeah, it's like a surprisingly like it's a feisty. It's like funny because they're all so bad, but like they just love fucking each other up.
They hate each other, and they don't care that no one else cares. It's all they care about. It's like SEC like college vibes. Like it's just nothing matters if we go 2-15, but we beat the Saints both times. It's a successful season, you know. Like I
Football's
think that
just
shit
different in the
rocks.
South. Football's different in the South.
All right, let's go all the way south and take me to Tampa Bay.
Yeah, let's go down. Let's go down to the Bay, baby. Talk about the 2024 NFC South champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 30 in a row that they have won last year. That they had won the South. This is a feisty. This is a fun team. Um, they are coached by Todd Bowles movement. Um, who just seems like a real no nonsense type of guy. I love that. Um, they went 10-7 last year, won the NFC South. I feel like they lost. They're like one of those teams. Like so, the Commanders last year were a team that like they won a bunch of like one score fluky games, and so their record makes them look like more complete and better than they are. And I feel like the Bucks were on the opposite side of that. Like, there was that Falcons game on Thursday night where Kirk Cousins threw for 500 yards against them, like set like an NFL record, set like a Falcons record for most like passing yards in a game. Like they just lost a lot of stupid games, but there were times
Yeah,
where they really put it together. Baker Mayfield went to his second consecutive Pro Bowl. He has had like I mean, it's not news now. He's like capital D dude at this point after like revamping his career in
yeah,
Tampa. He's the real fucking deal. He's playing behind a great O line. Tristan Wirfs is like, look, I'm a big Lane Johnson guy. Um, I think Penny Sewell is fine. Penis Sewell from the Lions. But Tristan Wirfs is hands down the best tackle in the NFL, and that's just the fucking truth. They have a great O line. Bucky Irving was like a very fun surprise, like rookie for them last year. Their running back played very well. Great receiving back. And then they just have like absolute awesome receiving core that are propped up by Mike Evans in the X and Chris Godwin in the Y. Fun, explosive offense. They play the NFC West this year, and that makes me think
Mm.
that Bucks are going to be like a 12-13 game winner because
Oh,
the NFC West is going to be absolute dog shit, and no one can convince me differently. The
wow.
Cardinals are probably going to win it. That's how bad it's going to be.
Oh no.
They're like ranked 18 in the strength of schedule too, so they're right there in the middle. So like we're going to have a lot more of those games that come down to like maybe one possession. So like just law of averages says a lot more of those are going to swing their way. Their defense got a lot better too. They re-signed Vita Vea, they signed pass rusher Hassan Reddick, who played like one game for the Jets after being in Japan for like half the year. Um, the 3 years before that, he of course had double-digit sacks. Like he's like a legitimate one of the best pass rushers in the league. They re-signed Levante David, so they have their captain of the defense back. But I think the most exciting thing they did was that they drafted the fattest guy in the history of the NFL. And I misspoke. They signed him as a free agent. He was too fat to get drafted. Um, they signed like a 450-pound player,
Oh my
Desmond
god, really?
Watson from the University of Florida. Yeah, I love this guy. You should look
Gator
at his
up.
like you look at like watch the video of his pro day. Like he can really move, and like his ass is like as big, like as wide as a doorway. He's huge. Defense is
What's
going to
his
be
name?
good. His name's Desmond Watson. I'm obsessed with this guy. Um, he is just like when you were a kid, what you thought a football player should look like, just like the biggest guy in the world. That's him. He's so cool.
6'6", 460.
And he also when he was at Florida, yeah, he's like a gigantic man. He wore number 20 as a defensive lineman. That weighed 400 plus pounds, which is like the coolest thing you can do.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, the number stuff is so weird.
I'm not a number guy. Like I don't care if like, oh, that doesn't look like a good number. Like I just think a defensive lineman wearing a cool number like that. Like I said, I'm a big defensive line guy. He also drafted this offseason Emeka Egbuka from Ohio State. Again, he was like a highly touted player. A lot of people said he might be like, the best, like from like a talent perspective, the best receiver in the draft. He's gonna like start as a rookie in the slot. So this passing offense is gonna be insanely cool and good. And I can't wait. Like they have the protection, they have a good backfield, they have a legit slot guy who is like blue blood 5-star receiver from Ohio State. That's gonna slot right into this offense and be like a reliable third option for Baker. Like Baker might throw 50 touchdowns this year. He might throw for like 5,000
Whoa!
yards. Like he's gonna have an insanely good year. He's gonna get legitimate MVP votes. Like this might be the Baker Mayfield MVP year. I might put money on that. I'm not a better,
Oh!
but like his offense is gonna be spicy as hell. It's gonna be fun. They got a big fat guy on defense. Like we're putting together a really fun team in Florida. Like this is like a very Florida team. Like flashy and fast and fun, but also a big fat guy.
I'm watching his highlights right now. There's one where he just running back runs right into him, and he somehow strips the ball from the back and starts
Yeah,
running
he's
with
cool.
it.
He just like, picks guys up and throws them down. He's also very, very strong.
And he doesn't wear
I
gloves.
no. See, he's cool.
The
He's great.
the boomers will love that. That's very boomer when a guy doesn't.
There is an Instagram account that I get suggested from me all the time where it's like this guy who I assume is like deeply emotionally disturbed. But he just makes videos where he's like high school football players in the 90s versus now. And it's like high school football player in the 90s. It's like a guy taping his fingers listening to Pantera. You're like, I'm gonna take this guy's soul. And then it cuts to like the guy now and he's wearing like a visor and a sleeve and he's like, can I get your Snapchat? And it's like, dude, what's wrong with you?
But it's him both times, like acting.
It's him both times.
That's
But what he's
creepy.
doing is he's like making fun of children today. He's like a 50-year-old balding man with a goatee. Like the most divorced guy of all time.
He goes into his shift at the hardware store. Is like, you guys see my post list?
And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
we're
I
worried
fucking
about
got
you.
their asses.
Were you? Who hurt you when you were a boy? You need to heal your child. The Bucks are going to be awesome. We're going to be great. The last thing I want to say about them, though, is that they did the funniest thing that you can do, where they added a very large man and Desmond Watson through the draft, but they also drafted in the 6th round Tez Johnson, who is 5'10", 154 pounds. He's the size of like
Yes.
a high school kicker, but he plays wide receiver. He's Bo Nix's adopted brother.
What?
He played high school football with Bo Nix, and like his dad died when he was a very young boy, and so like Bo Nix's parents adopted him because they were such good friends, and he didn't have a good home life.
Wait. Okay, yeah, they're my the Buccaneers are my pet team in the NFC this year. My backup,
They're
my
absolutely. I'm supposed to hate the Buccaneers because there is a rich history of the Bucks absolutely fucking the Eagles up in the postseason and the regular season. They were the only other team to beat us last year. They embarrassed us in Tampa. They regularly beat us when we have to go on the road. Like I don't think we've won like one game there in the last 20 years. Like as in as a guy that bleeds midnight green, Anthony. Um, I'm supposed to hate these guys, but I can't. I love Baker Mayfield to death. He's the greatest
yeah,
Sooner of all time.
mm,
Um,
preach.
I fell in love with him when he grabbed his crotch and told the whole Kansas sideline to suck his cock. Um, because they didn't shake his hand before the game,
I
and then
remember
like
that.
that pissed him off, and then he just like threw like for like 600 yards and like ran for another 100. He had like a legitimate like Heisman game. That's the year he won the Heisman,
Dude,
and
if
then like he like bowled over a guy. He like bulldozed a guy, and then they grabbed his crotch and said, "Suck my cock!" Like to their whole sideline, like on like national television. It was like an ESPN game. Still,
Baker Mayfield is what we all thought Johnny Manziel would be.
yeah.
And he
But he
doesn't
just
get
like
nearly the recognition. And he gets, I mean, he was in a lot of commercials. Like, he was famous, Baker Mayfield. Like, it's not like he was some indie darling. Like, he was obviously, he was a celeb when he was in college, but Johnny Manziel was like a world phenomenon, and that should have been Baker.
I think Baker kind of had the redemption arc that Johnny Manziel hasn't allowed himself to have yet.
That's also true.
I'm not just talking about sports. Like Johnny Manziel has some serious like personal problems. Baker like was in a bad situation, had a bad attitude about it, but then humbled himself and
He
has come
evolved.
through it, and people love that shit.
Maybe he saw the light of Allah.
He inshallah Baker Mayfield is the greatest. Um, maybe he did. That would be cool. And like if he shows up to training camp and still has his beard but has the mustache shaved, we'll know. I'm excited about the Bucks, man. Oh yeah, I need to mention this just because this seems like a very Tampa thing. Um, so Liam Cohen was their offensive coordinator last year. He obviously gets the Jaguars job. He's head coach of the Jags this year. So they promoted passing game coordinator, whatever that means, whatever that job entails. I don't know. Um, Josh Grizzard to offensive coordinator, and that's just like I feel like everyone I know from Florida like has like it's like a last name that you feel like is made up.
Every detail you've said gets more Florida.
I know, and it's cool, and not in like a tacky, like hacky, like Florida man way. In like a very like fuck yeah.
Like real
I think
Florida.
I'm starting to think Florida's actually sick kind of way.
Florida is sick.
I almost moved to Florida
It
instead of
has a bad
Arizona.
reputation. Oh, thank God.
It has a bad reputation because it's an awful place.
The people there are bad.
Yeah, the people that like
That's not true.
it's like Phoenix, where it's just the worst people from other places move there because it's sunny, and that's why it sucks. It's like the worst guys from fucking Pennsylvania and like Illinois that live there.
We'll get to the rest of the divisions as because training stamps are gonna start getting stamped here pretty soon.
Next week,
a couple of them are
reporting.
really about to start, like in the next day or two, right? Like I think the Chargers one starts soon. All right, I think we'll end it there, folks. Thanks for joining us. Until next week, signing off.